going on, all you tickling trolls? My name is Mason.
And I'm Alex.
And welcome to FU Fantasy Football.
Ooh, fantasy.
We are a fantasy podcast that talks about fantasy football.
And we do it well.
Yeah, we're cool.
Yeah.
Well, we had one more game last night.
Yeah.
And I need a Monday miracle, and it didn't happen.
Yeah. No, man. I came within 1.5 points. And all I needed was, just throw to McCaffrey for a little 5-yard out. And they decided to throw it up the middle to basically no one except for the Vikings team.
Yeah, it did. It was a disappointment. I think I lost by 5. It was such a shitty matchup between me and my friend Nick. It was so bad. Neither one of us scored 90 points, I don't think. Or he may have barely cracked it. This is so bad.
Oh, no, that sucks for me. I feel bad. I lost 135 to 133.5. So.
Oh, that sucks more for you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Now I feel bad.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
But we have to move. We forge on. We look towards waivers.
Yeah, it's a good waivers week. I think
it's a great waivers week.
Yeah,
actually, really good running back waivers week.
Yeah.
Over wide receivers. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what's owned in your league, but yeah,
sure, exactly, of course. But yeah. You gotta. We ready to rant?
Yes.
All right.
Man, what did the NFL do to Brian Flores? That dude is probably the best defensive mind in the NFL. Look at the Minnesota Vikings defense today versus what they were last year and what they were at the beginning of this year. That dude has performed miracles on that defense. I can only name 5 people on defense. Davis is in. Hey!
What's up, nerds?
Hey!
What's up, nerds? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Can you hear us?
Oh, I can hear you. How beautifully backlit am I, huh?
Oh, God.
Yeah, this is awful. But I was just ranting about the NFL and Brian Flores and how incredible of a defensive mind that guy is. Because he just turned that Minnesota Vikings defense into one of the top defenses in the league.
They looked awesome.
Insane what he's done with that defense, and he could not even get a coordinator job last year. And that dude went 9-8 with the Dolphins, and they fired him because they thought they were going to get Sean Payton, and the NFL shut that down. And then he sued them, and so he got blacklisted basically. And so Tomlin gave him a job just because he was like, what are y'all doing? This guy's brilliant. Even though I already have a defensive coordinator, but I want to get this guy a job because he's brilliant. Yeah. And then he's like, everybody's like, oh, yeah, well, yeah, he's not blacklisted anymore because he's freaking brilliant. And he turned the Vikings defense into a top 5 unit in the league.
Wow. That's great. I heard on some other podcasts about how people were excited about him and what he was going to do, and that it might take a little time to get there. But they just beat the 49ers, man. That's a big accomplishment.
Yeah.
They're talking about
especially for a team
too, which I don't understand.
A lot of people are letting them off.
Yeah, a lot of people are bringing up Danielle Hunter as a trade candidate. And that dude's a monster. Why would the Vikings trade him, especially now that they pulled out that win last night?
Well, now they won't. Yeah, I think they were assuming that they'd lose, but they're 3-4 now.
Yeah,
they're 2 games back from the Lions.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
See it.
Yeah.
Davis, do you have a rant, brother?
Yeah, I got a real quick one, which is a little bit of a praise, a little bit of a rant. First of all, I don't know if you guys watched the Manning cast last night, but there is absolutely no reason that most football broadcasts should not be that informative, that helpful, that just interesting to learn about. Prime example, first few plays of the game, Peyton and Eli start talking about how they're trying to tire Bosa out by running no huddles, keep the thing rolling, and then get them off the field and then change their plays to hold the ball a little bit longer, actually make some things happen. You don't hear that anywhere else.
No.
You don't hear any of that. What you hear is, wow, Bosa's got huge arms and he's about to eat Kirk Cousins for lunch constantly.
Yeah.
Instead, give me a little bit more of the thinking. Give me a little bit more. And Romo's a little bit good at this too, but it just is such a breath of fresh air to learn something from a football game instead of listening to whoever
Trust the old white guys
go on and on and on about how it's so loud. Anyway, that's my rant. love the Manning boys.
I do too. I actually, they also BS around some too, and they have interviews on. But when they're locked in the game and they're talking about it, they really is a nice peek in behind the curtains of what's going on. I concur.
Definitely. Yeah.
My rant is about idiot wide receivers who don't know how speed limits go.
We've seen it before.
Jordan Addison got what was he going, like 120 and like a
$140 and a 55, something like that.
Yeah, and Olave just did it last night too. What a moron! Like, you guys are not above the law. Stop buying fast cars that you can't control. Like, good lord, such morons
in the NFL. How dare you?
Oh, I mean, I get it. They're 21, 22 years old. They've got a ungodly amount of money, and they want to buy nice things, and they feel better than they should about their lives. And then they go break some rules because they're idiots. It's like, God, man, you guys are you're playing with fire, man. You are playing with fire. Don't fuck this up. Because if you don't recall, fuck, I just blanked on his name. The Alabama wide receiver who killed people in a car wreck. Say again? Henry Ruggs did the same shit, except when he did it, he wrecked and he killed people. So it's like, stop being morons, guys. This is so dumb. It's like, yeah, we can chuckle it off and laugh like, oh, they're stupid for doing that. But Ruggs killed people and he changed his life forever. He's fucking in prison for the next 10 years? Like, that's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah. Ruined his life and ended others. Like, stop being dummies.
Wow, that took a dark turn.
Yeah, that's true, though. I mean, honestly, I forgot about the Ruggs thing until halfway through the rant. Obviously, because I didn't remember to write his name down. Or I would have. But, like, God, man, stop being stupid.
Fun fact, he went number 1 in that draft ahead of guys like Justin Jefferson and A.J. Brown and really good receivers like that.
He was playing pretty well, too. I mean, I think... I think he would have had a bright future, but
sure.
He hit a trash quarterback throwing the ball, though. So if he had a better quarterback,
Once you speak of, I will say the Olave thing has been really funny for all the at least there's one fast car, or at least he's going fast for one car. Oof. And that hurts my feelings.
That
it's also
is
funny.
It is funny though. And Michael Thomas was like, he wasn't supposed to be in that route. I don't know why Carr was bad or whatever he tweeted. It's like, man, Carr, you better get your guys, bro.
I know. I did see, just to put a pin on the Olave thing, I did see a stat that he's got over 600 unrealized air yards so far this season. Oof. So it's a really great stat for nobody.
It's a great stat for us Panthers fans.
It's okay. You got Kamar now. Just be check down city.
So, that's all we need, man. 18 catches for an average of 2.3 yards. Perfect.
All right, let's be happy. Let's get into this exciting.
Yeah, sorry, that took a downer turn there for a moment. I honestly, I wasn't intending to go to Ruggs murder trials there, but let's move on, shall we?
Yeah, about bad Alabama receivers that can't do anything, like Jerry Jeudy and Jameson Williams and. Let's do waivers. So we're going to start off. What do you guys want? Receivers? I think receivers are more fun, more points.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I think it sets the state. Running backs. I think it's a better running back week. Yeah. Let's do receivers. We did running backs last week. Let's do receivers this week. Yeah. All right, Davis. Who is your number 1 wide receiver on waivers?
I mean, it's got to be Josh Downs, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's just no way it can't be. I mean, he's 34.6% owned in ESPN leagues. He's been lighting it up. Even with Minshew, we were worried about that transition between Richardson to Minshew, and he's still been, 5 catches for 80 to 100 yards pretty much the last 4 games.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got to go get him, man. He's startable at this point. He's only improving every game, and there might be some life to that offense. They were getting things done against the Browns.
Yeah, 38 points against the best defense in the league. I think that, you're 1,000% right.
Thanks for giving me the layup.
He's my number one, and it's not even close. Honestly, I think there's a big drop off after him.
Huge. Yeah.
I agree.
Maybe if there's one that's like pretty close that I guess we could talk about, but
Go for it.
Well, I was gonna say Tank Dell, but Tank Dell is like slightly over 50%. I think like 52. But that's the only one that's even close to Downs, which is weird because they're kind of like the very similar players. But yeah, that's the only one. I don't see anybody else that.
I've got a couple that are close-ish.
Okay.
They're both on the same team. I'm going to talk about the old Green Bay Packers wide receivers. Both Romeo Doubs, who's a slight bit over 50%, and ESPN. He's at 52.4, and Jalen Reed is at 30. God, he's way
low. Yeah, super low.
But the reason that I bring them up, and you're not going to see it with their projections when you look at ESPN's projections, is that we don't really know what the status of Christian Watson's injury is yet.
Right.
He's down for any significant period of time, and he's always injured. He's had hamstring problems. He's had all these problems already in his career and this year. Those guys are going to skyrocket up. It's kind of like I've compared them to them so many times. They're like San Francisco Light. They have all these receivers. They have all these weapons. But when one of them goes down, the other guys get a big boost. And it's not quite on the same level as Green Bay, but it is similar. When Christian Watson was out, Reed and Romeo Doubs had a giant boost in their production. So keep those guys in mind. Follow the Watson injury report today, and then just shoot for the stars on one of them, because I think those guys are going to get a bump.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, it's got to be being a Watson owner. That sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
wait this long.
Yeah, and then also like I'd be scared to play him now. Like, because then is he going to re-aggravate it or not? Like, I don't know. It feels very Will Fullery.
He was already so boom or bust anyway. I mean, Rogers mentioned, I'm going to bring up the Manning cast again, mentioned him on the Manning cast last night when Addison had that ball taken away from him. It's like, he had the same thing happen to Watson, and then he went and scored 3 touchdowns where there was only 3 catches in the game.
Yeah.
Yep,
that's just kind of the Christian Watson experience right now.
Oh yeah, I had him last year, and it was delicious. But it also, when it didn't work out, it didn't work out at all.
Yeah, it's like like Claypool for a while there. Like Claypool was crushing it for a second, and then all of a sudden you're like, what do I do? Like, do I play him? Do I not play him? Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that's what I'm going with the Packers.
I like it.
Anybody else for you, Davis?
Yes. So just my last thought on that. Apparently, I'm last thoughtsing. I think you can start Doubs in a flex, and I really like Jaden Reed, just on potential alone. My deep cut for you, because I thought he looked great in the game last night, is Brandon Powell of the Vikings.
Yeah, Alex and I talked about it.
Didn't get a ton of work, but he looked good. He just looked twitchy. He looked quick. Like, obviously that was the Addison game. That's all we should really talk about, but they're not getting anything from running backs. Apparently the only team that's not scored a rushing touchdown. Mason, that's how I make you feel, Mr. Madison manager.
Just annoyed because I've just been hit with stupid injuries and buys.
Yeah,
I think Cousins made them look a lot better. Cousins was fantastic.
Well, that O-line was doing the Lord's work too.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's exactly going. I'm going to pat myself on the back. Kirk Cousins still has those games. I said, without JJ, he'll still have those games, man.
Yep.
So I was right about Ritter versus Cousins. We should have done a shotgun.
Yeah, he was absolutely. And that offensive line is so funny. They were just getting demolished by the defensive line. You can see that if you watch the film on them, they're literally at slants trying to hold back that defensive line, and they were doing it, but they were doing everything that they had.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was so funny to watch because it was like like when you're 5 years old, and you're trying to hold back your dad from getting somewhere or something like that. Dad just kind of like pushing forward. That's what it felt like watching them over again. A couple guys that I like outside of that, Marvin Mims, because it looks like Sutton or Judy is going to get traded. I don't know which one or both. I would assume it's Judy, but who wants him because he's an Alabama wide receiver. He sucks. Demario Douglas, Pop Douglas, ton of targets. He's a big part of that offense. Kendrick Bourne. Those are stashed. I like Bourne. You can start Bourne, but Pop Douglas might have a little bit more upside just because of what kind of player he is. We'll see. I don't know. I don't want to own Patriots, but
all that Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah. 1,000%.
God, I'm just stroking my own ego here.
And Marquez Valdez-Scantling led all Chiefs in snaps this past week. He had a really good game. And what's his name? Justin Ross. Jesus Christ, Alex. Just got arrested for domestic abuse.
Mommy.
And so that's more snaps and targets for
Rasheed.
For she and for Valdez-Scantling. So all of a sudden, that huge wide receiver room now has Watson down, now has Ross down, and now Tony only had 8 snaps.
Did we look at how big? Yeah, Rashee Rice, 48.7, y'all. Damn, we should have seen that. Missed that one. 48.7. Absolutely, go get Rashee Rice. He's probably.
I thought for sure Alex was going to talk about him. That's why
I assumed. I didn't even. I know. I just assumed that.
Yeah,
that he's over.
He's in there, man. 48.7. So he's probably it's him and Downs, and then the other guys.
Yeah, no, it's him. Him and Downs probably together. Probably the other.
I'd still take Downs first. But
I would take.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It's a lot closer than I would have thought.
But there's only like 3 receivers left. It's like Sky Moore, MVS, and Sky Moore is terrible, and Rashee Rice, and Tony, because Tony's just not getting snaps anymore. I don't know if they're just like saving him. He had 8 snaps last week. I don't know.
Averages before last week. He averaged like 26 snaps or 26% of the snaps. It's like that's terrible.
Yeah,
I don't know. They're saving him for their Super Bowl run where he'll get 2 touchdowns on 4 snaps.
Yeah. People will say Hyatt. I don't know. Whatever. I don't really want Hyatt anytime soon. Maybe Dynasty, but that's it.
I will say rookies come on at the end of the year. So if you want to stash him, I thought about bringing him up too, because at the end of the year, they start to get it together. They start to figure it out. We're not quite towards the end of the year yet, but like just keep it on your radar.
You want good offenses though. I don't want Daniel Jones throwing to it. I don't want my receiving.
It's Tyrod, baby. Yeah. It's Tyrod season.
Well, you said by the end of the year. Hopefully it's Tyrod, but like for the end of the year. We can only hope it's Tyrod, but
fingers crossed.
Yeah. And then if you deep sleeper, Terrace Marshall Jr., he requested a trade. There's always a possibility he goes to a really good offense. So
what I think about that.
Yeah. I mean, if he's the number 2 and I don't know, Baltimore,
Baltimore's receiver looked pretty good.
And Aguilar,
7 targets.
We mentioned Aguilar last week, and if you listened to us, he got you a touchdown.
Pre-waiver ads.
Yeah. So Aguilar is also a good one to stash and see if he does it again. Yeah. All right. Anybody else? We're all good? All right, good. Let's go over to RBs. Mason, you go first this time.
Okay, I was definitely ready for that. No, I'm here. So there's a RBs are delicious this waiver period. So I'm gonna go. I think my number 1, if I had to pick one, would be Hunt. If you need a lot of these guys,
please. Full name.
Say what? Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt is 46.3% owned. Ford is going to miss at least 1, probably 2 weeks. So even when they were in together, like last week, they both had over 15 fantasy points. I think he had 15 and Ford had 16 or something.
17,
but this week,
or 18.
yeah, Hunt had 16.1 and 15.1 in the last 2 weeks. Like even with Ford, he's productive. So I think without him, he'll be even more productive. So I would probably go Hunt, but there's a lot of juicy guys here.
Yeah, they also leaned on Pierre Strong at the end of the game. I don't know. Kareem Hunt was dealing with some sort of injury, like for the week. I don't know if that had something to do with why Pierre Strong was in at the end of the game. I would just keep an eye out of injury report today.
Yeah, but even if he's, if it's a split-ish backfield, or if it's like 60-40, I think 60's going to Hunt, and he's proved that throughout his career, honestly, that he doesn't need that many touches to be effective.
No, what I'm saying is that Hunt might be dealing with an injury.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Yes, be aware of that. But I'm saying even if it is a 1-1, then he still can be.
Oh, if Hunt's not hurt, then it's Hunt's backfield. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, and I think Hunt would be startable. I don't know that I would start Pierre Strong or anybody else in that back.
No, not unless Hunt misses. That's the only way that I would start Pierre Strong.
Yep.
All right, Davis, who's yours? You got to be on off mute.
Sorry, I hit the wrong tab. It's fun just doing this on a laptop, guys.
Yeah, Davis, for those listening and you're hearing things in the background, Davis is in the airport. Yeah, or viewing. There you go.
Yeah, so I'm trying to be a polite podcaster. Oh, I've ruined everything. Come on. And mute for you guys, but it's not working well. Daryl Henderson. We got okey doked pretty good by Sean McVay last week. A lot of Zach Evans hype. Actually, we didn't. As he was talking, he was kind of like, Zach's still learning.
Yeah. And then I went and picked up Daryl Henderson in 2 leagues. And
then Daryl Henderson got picked up off the street. Royce Freeman, back from the dead. Happy Halloween to him. And Daryl Henderson looked good. We've seen him do this before.
Yeah.
When Cam Akers went down, he was a top 10 to 15 running back. Not saying that's what he's going to be this time, but it's worth a look. And he's not owned. He's 12.2.
Yeah. I'm one of those 12%. In 2 leagues.
How does that feel to be a league?
It's almost like I saw the future. My favorite is neither one of those. Devin Singletary. I think he's taking over that Texans backfield, and I think that you can run on the Panthers. So I like Singletary this week and moving forward as number 1 back there. Sorry, Dameon Pierce. It sucks for you because you're just not good in this system, and you'd be good in another system, but it's just not this one. I think that he might be a trade candidate though, so not like in fantasy, like in real life football.
Yeah, and
maybe he goes to a better situation because he is very talented. He just doesn't work in this system.
Yep. You've been saying that all year, so good on you for calling that.
Yep.
I'm gonna go one more. I'm gonna say it's kind of we've been toyed a bit with this backfield, but I think Amari DeMarcado solidified it.
Yeah,
he looks better. He looked better last week, even too. I think that he is going to be the guy moving forward. He had 11.1 fantasy points last week. He was 13 for 58, and then 4 of 5 for 17 yards. 15.7% owned. So he's out there. And if you're in a deeper league, he's definitely worth adding. And I think he's probably worth adding even in like a 10 team just as a decent backup.
Yeah, if you need a back for sure.
Or a spot start. I'm not sure. I haven't looked.
There's no buys.
There's no buys this week?
No buys. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, they're coming next week, week 9, when I have
What the fuck is this about? This was my rant, Davis. I think you missed this rant. Why are the buys so strangely spread out? We're like, there's like 6 in a week, and then there's 0 this week. What the fuck is that about?
That's so weird.
And then we have buys in week 13. Like, why are we making these guys play for 3 months and then giving them a buy? Or why are we making people play 4 weeks and getting a buy in week 5? I don't understand.
I'm sure some of those teams that are in 13 would love to have a bye week right now.
It might have something to do with like the baseball playoffs. I think. I don't know.
I'm sure there's lots of things.
We just take a Sunday off.
Yeah.
Week 11, Sunday off for everybody. No, there's too many dollars.
Way too many dollars.
Davis, do you have anybody else?
Yeah, go get Tyler Algier if he's owned in your league.
What's so weird?
I'm going to say
so annoying. I got him played against me, and he got 14 fucking points. I'm so mad.
I saw it. That was a desperation play by Nicholas Hogwarts Die.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, he knew that Bijan was gonna have some weird.
He had
he
some
did not. He got lucky as
I know. Of course, he didn't know. Nobody knew.
No, he had no idea. He doesn't even know who Tyler Algier is. But
my God.
it just goes to show that you need to own him. He looked good. He's a 1,000-yard rusher last year. All this stuff we talked about in preseason. And I, frankly, not that anybody's asked me, am a little concerned about the Bijan thing because you have a headache. You have a headache that persists that long, and he said he was still feeling it yesterday. I mean, LSU fan, we just had a player go in for a brain, go out for a brain tumor. Like you just never know. So I'm not at all saying that's a little.
God, put that evil on him, Jesus.
Well, I'm scared now. I'm scared.
Regardless of anything, he's in a committee, and you didn't think that going in. And it's kind of weird that you spend such a high draft pick on a guy just to be a part of a committee. But they did because they're the Falcons and they're ridiculous.
Yeah. It feels like regardless what happens with Bijan, if you're a Bijan owner, you should have Algier or at least Cordero Patterson. And if you don't have Bijan, pick him up and hold him. Maybe you can trade him to the Bijan owner. Maybe you get something out of it.
I fucking tried to in our league, and Sam didn't want him. I had to drop him, and then he got played against me, and that's the reason he fucking won. So insanely bad luck. Such bad luck.
Yeah. Ezekiel Elliott, he's a part of this backfield. It looks, and it's pretty much 50-50 depending on game script. What's his name? Got a lot of the stuff at the end. God, why can't I think of names today? Ramondre, Jesus Christ, Alex. Ramondre got a lot of catches in the end for the last drive that they had. It really helped his fantasy day. But it's pretty much a split backfield, and Zeke looks good. He looks back from the dead, kind of. And if one of those guys goes down, the other one's got the whole backfield by themselves, and the offense looks competent now.
You know what this is? This is we'll call it poor man's version of the Dallas combo from last year with Pollard and Zeke. Where Zeke's just doing his thing. He's getting you 40 yards and hopefully a touchdown. Andre's the more electric option. It's just not as good of an offense as it was last year. That's exactly what's happening here. And you're right. Zeke probably needs to be owned.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree. I concur.
I like Rashard Penny as a stash. Gainwell sucks. He looked bad. And I don't trust Swift to be...
Swift? Did he have a decent game?
It's fine. It's fine.
I just feel like I saw a lot of Gainwell, and I was very surprised.
Yeah, and he's terrible. So I actually kind of like Penny as a little bit of a stash for the end of the year because I don't trust Swift to hold up. I don't wish injury upon anybody, but we've seen this is history. So I like Penny as a little stash because if you are the top back in a Eagles offense, that ain't bad, and he's going to be. I could see him having a Donta Foreman kind of end of the year.
Yeah, he's got Washington and Dallas before a bye week. Swift. So, that whole offense, obviously. Last time he 14 for 56 and a touchdown on the ground, and 4 for 4 for 23. So he had a decent game. I mean, obviously a touchdown helped a lot there, but he could be all right still.
I love Swift. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Penny.
Right.
I just don't think it's going to hold up. And then all the backups, man. Own Dell, own Roshan, own Spears, own Kendre Miller. Actually, I don't know if you should own Kendre Miller because Jamal Williams is too.
I don't think you need to own Kendre right now.
Yeah.
Okay, what about Mr. Foreman? What about Mr. Foreman? What do we do with him?
I think you just say, I missed it. Move on.
I mean, I picked him up to block Nick from getting him. We talked about it yesterday, but I think you don't even know if he's going to start. You don't even know if he's going to start. I know. I'm just that's what I'm asking. I'm not saying I know the answer, but
I think you got to hold him for now. I don't know that you start him, especially with Roshan probably coming back. But
and Herbert's going to be back in 2 weeks.
But I'm just if you could trade him for the Roshan.
If Roshan doesn't play again, oh man.
Chargers,
that's scary. Man. That's scary if Roshan doesn't play again.
LA Chargers next week. You can do anything against the Chargers. Literally.
Wrong.
They're bottom 2 in every category except for tight end. But even now, they're going to be bottom after what Kelsey just did to them. Holy shit. They're going to be bottom like 3 in every single category. Holy shit, man.
Nuts.
Yeah.
How is he so open over and over and over again? He just like would run straight forward 10 yards and turn around, and no one's around him. Like he didn't even do like a cool move. It was just like he just like, okay, thanks guys.
Waiver ad, Travis Kelsey. See who's out there.
Speaking of tight end, let's move on to tight ends. Real quick. Craig Reynolds. I think he has a good matchup this week, and. I think that it's not all Gibbs this time. I think it's a little bit easier of a match. Let's go to tight end. Mason.
There's the obvious one. Dalton Kincaid. He just got unleashed, man. I mean, he's obviously the best one. He was 8 for 8 for 75 yards. I mean, good Lord, if that's not looking for a guy. And we talked about this. I brought this up a couple weeks ago that if one of them goes down, the other guy is going to be a huge part of the offense. And he loves Dawson Knox. They've always had a connection, but now that Dawson Knox has got a wrist injury, he's going to be out he had surgery, so who knows how long he's going to be out for. But it is Dalton Kincaid season, ladies and gentlemen. This dude is a must-add.
Yeah, Khalil Shakir is a slot receiver for the Bills. He also got a bump when Dawson Knox went down. I think that in deep release, he's worth an ad. I just wanted to tack that onto the Kincaid thing, but you're absolutely right. Kincaid's, man, I would spend up fab on. Oh my!
That's what I was literally about to say. Is like he might be the number one priority. I think he's anybody.
I think he's the number one ad this week in waivers.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, tight end is such a wasteland. Did you send that stat about how there's only like 5 guys that have 50% of Kelsey's production?
Yeah,
and everyone else
is insane.
It's like. He's doubled their production. It's crazy, man.
Why don't we draft him one every year? I say it every year, and I had the number 1 pick this year, and I could have done it, and I chickened out.
I am very glad you did because I took him.
I say it every year. I was like, man, why are we so stupid? Every single year, the amount of difference between every other tight end.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like I'm the second best player in our league in that, and it's mostly because of him.
Like I took say even if Justin Jefferson's healthy, right, all year, I could have got Adam Thielen in the 10th round and given me similar production.
Oof.
Like Travis Kelsey every year. God. All right, Davis, you're typing.
We're going to wait for that announcement to be over. He's muted and laughing. Let me guess. Hold on. Let me guess who he's going to say. I'm going to go with one Logan Thomas.
No, I think it's going to be Taysom Hill.
Jonnu Smith.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
He's still on the Jonnu train, huh?
Yeah.
Well, listen, he's still getting work. He had a little bit fewer targets. He only had 3 against Tampa Bay. But I mean, again, he had 6, 8, 6, 7, 5 the weeks before that. He's getting work. We just talked about how gross tight end is. He needs to be owned, man. He's 32% owned right now.
Yeah. I don't want a Falcon player ruining my team.
Well,
I don't want to own any Falcons. You don't get to be on my team if you're a Falcon. Get out of here. I thought you were going to say Taysom Hill, man. Every year, we just like just steal shit from everybody else.
Taysom, I think, is still quarterback. He's still quarterback designation in ESPN.
No, he's tight end.
No, he's tight end.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, that does change things.
Yeah.
Well,
he's put. The thing is, if you pick him up right now against Indianapolis, he's going to give you like 3 points. He's done 12.2 and 16.8 in the last 2 weeks, and people are going to get excited about him because he's done that, and then he's not going to be a part of the game plan at all.
Reminds me of Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, Taysom's only playable if he is in at quarterback. Because otherwise, it's a total crapshoot. You're hoping for a 1-yard rush or some wacko 37-yard catch that he has no business making.
I kind of think you probably should put him in a quarterback over Jared Carr.
Oof. Would probably.
Anyway, Jake Ferguson I like too.
Yeah.
Go back to the Jake Ferguson. Well, I think he's just going to be a big part of that offense, and Dak just isn't that great, so he's going to throw too. Also, I forgot to talk about Brandon Cooks. I like Brandon Cooks too. I think he's going to become a bigger and bigger role. Every year, every year he's good, and he had a good game the last time we saw Dallas. I think he's going to be more involved.
I'm going to say Logan Thomas because I already did. He's position rank 13 on the year. There are no buys this week, so whoever you have, you can play them. But he's kind of all over the place, but he has had some good games. He's given you double digits a couple times, and he's getting decent targets. It's just weird. He's just he's a little hit and miss. But if you're desperate, he's not a bad ad.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the thing about tight end too. There's no real tight end injuries, right? Outside of Dawson Knox. Mm-hmm. So if you're probably just playing whatever tight end you have.
Yeah.
that you usually have.
Yep.
Yeah, that's about it. Anything else, Davis, on tight ends?
Jonnu Smith's 10th overall in the year. Just putting that out there. Okay.
Yeah, Drake London's probably like 25th in the year. I still don't want to play him.
It might be.
I don't want Falcons. Yeah.
I don't blame you.
They could have a headache and just miss the game.
Oof.
I don't. Yeah, I just don't. I just feel better if I don't have. I just feel more calm about putting my people in if they're not a Falcon. If I have a Falcon, I'm just oh God, I'm playing a Falcon. They suck.
Oh, Speaking of God. Falcons,
my God!
Now that we're going to move on to quarterback, I want to talk about Desmond Ridder. And Alex, you were so close in your prediction on him throwing 3 picks. He didn't throw 3 picks, but he did have 3 fumbles.
Dude, cannot.
Oh my God.
Holy cow.
Dude, at some point, this defense is not going to bail him out because the defense is playing pretty excellent. And
yeah.
it might be honestly the Saints might because the defense coordinator is the old Saints defensive line coach, right? And and he might be the brilliance in that.
He's awesome. We should have
over Dennis Allen
kept him. I don't know how we didn't.
Yeah, well, because he's being a defensive coordinator instead of a defensive line coach. He said promotion. But he's got that defense playing well, but that defense is old, so they ain't gonna be healthy for super long. But that defense is bailing him out. I can't believe that they fumbled 3 times and only allowed 13 points, mostly because Baker Mayfield sucks. But geez.
Anyways, I just wanted to call that out because you were very close. You just had the wrong turnover designation.
Yeah. And so anybody, Davis, we did Mason twice. Let's do Davis once. Davis, quarterback waiver ad.
Yeah, I mean, Tyrod Taylor, for sure, especially if Daniel Jones, obviously if Daniel Jones, we hope, doesn't play, 1 for his safety, and 2 because Taylor is better. But that's my go-to. You looked awesome last week. Had a pretty crummy game overall. It was gross.
Yeah.
He's starting again. Go for him.
Yeah. What is that, Jake McIntyre? What's the McIntyre on the herd? I forgot his first name. It was that young quarterback, Tyrod Taylor. It's he's 34 years old. Idiot.
My guy has been around. Also, he's only owned in 2.1% of leagues.
Yeah, 279 yards through the air and 2 touchdowns, attacking on 25 on the ground. Man, that's pretty nice. I mean, the only problem is that they are playing the Jets, so that's not good.
Yeah. 17th against the quarterback in fantasy this year, it seems.
Wow.
So,
a lot of it had to do with not having Sauce and Reed last week.
Yeah,
hurt them because they were pretty high, and then
it really turned their defense into some weak sauce. Going on mute.
Okay, Mason, quarterback ad.
Okay, so I'm cheating a little bit here, but it was close enough that it needs to be put out there. CJ Stroud is only 55.9% owned.
Yeah.
He's position rank 15 on the year, but that's because he just missed last week because of the bye. He's averaging 16.6. So he's a must own guy. I don't know how he's not owned. And he gets the Panthers, as much as it makes me sad to say it. We give up some points.
Yeah,
So-
we're actually pretty good against the pass, though. Raheem Mostert ran for like 5 touchdowns against us, but
Sure.
we're actually pretty good against quarterbacks.
If he's out there in your league, go check.
yeah.
55.3 or whatever it's right on the fringe, but there's a lot of leagues he's still available.
We're not elite, but
No.
we're definitely teams run on us really well because we don't have a true defensive tackle, and our best run stopping linebacker is out for the season. Evero comes from he was a defensive backs coach for a long time. He's really good with defensive backs. He helped develop Pat Surtain and has our secondary looking really good. We can't do shit against the run though. I like Gardner Minshew, man. Gardner Minshew slinging it. Old stash, old ECU product himself, Gardner Minshew, who tried to break his hand to get out of East Carolina because we were so bad. And he eventually did get out.
To be fair, I was about to say they play New Orleans, who's a good defense, but he just put 305-2 on Cleveland, who was supposed to be the best defense in the league. So you could probably start him with a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, and I like Downs. Odebo Bobibo was not excellent last time we saw him. What's his name? Davis Odebo?
Paulson.
Yeah. Will Paulson play this slot?
I believe so. It's usually Marshawn on one side. Now I'm blanking on our other guy.
What's his name? Adebo?
Paulson Adebo.
Oh, okay. I thought you said his last name. I was thinking you were saying his last name was Paulson. Yeah. Adebo. Yeah. Okay. He didn't look great last time we saw the Saints. So I think Downs actually, you can start him with some confidence against the Saints. I actually don't like Pittman as much. I would like Downs better.
Against it. Well, you said that last week too.
Yeah.
They both did well.
Well, yeah, no, Downs do better. I didn't play him, so but I still won. It's okay. Anyone else? Kyler Murray. I keep picking him up, and I keep being like, is he going to be the same? How long is this going to take him to ramp up? Is the rushing going to be there? Like the reasons that we like Kyler, like I don't know.
You guys ready
for the roster spot?
No, not right now. But you ready for some heat right now? I'm about to come in hot. You guys are not ready for this. One Tyson Bagent is playing the Los Angeles Chargers.
I was going to say him, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. Who is ranked 32nd. Now, he did fine against the Vegas Raiders. He got you 12.4. There's no way you played him. However, he didn't turn the ball over. And he now gets the worst defense in the league.
More points than Jared Goff.
Yeah, and Herbert. So, maybe more of a DFS play, or like if you're desperate. But the teams have just been teeing off against this defense, man. And there's a world where he does just fine. I don't think Fields is coming back. They're saying that his thumb's going to need a little bit more time. It's probably another week or two before he comes back. So I think he's a play, man. I'm going to put a DFS lineup with him. Absolutely. Because a little more low stakes, but high upside because of how bad that defense is.
Yeah, him and DJ Stack.
Absolutely. 100%.
And I think that the Chargers offense is going to be significantly better, and I think that he's gonna have to throw. I think he's gonna have to throw.
Yeah, I think it's a shootout, and even if he throws a pick or two, I think they're gonna put points on the board because of how bad that defense is.
And I'm surprised that we haven't heard Staley's fired yet. But if Staley loses this game, they gotta fire him.
What a mess!
Yeah,
they should have fired him 2 years ago, man.
Yeah, they're the Panthers. They're like Matt Rule, and they're just gonna let him keep trying.
He's a defensive coordinator. I keep forgetting that he's supposedly a defensive mind. Yeah. He's had the worst defense or bottom 2-3 defense for fucking 3 years, man.
With that talent, holy
Derwin
shit,
man.
Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack,
it's incredible, dude. It is incredible. I don't get it.
They gave the Patriots player, the corner, what, $40 million just to send him back to the Patriots after paying his contract out.
Oh, it's so bad, dude.
So bad. It's so bad. And then either goes back to the Patriots and looks awesome again. It's like,
weird.
Funny how that works out.
it's so, like, with Derwin James, like, one of the best safeties in the league, and he just, like, sucks now.
Oh, it's so bad, man. Coaching is so important. It's crazy.
It's unbelievable what they've done. Like, they like gave you this insanely talented roster. It literally would take the worst coach in the league to ruin this roster. And I think we got, like, it happened.
Yeah, it's sad. Very sad.
I feel bad for Herbert.
I feel bad for every single player there, man. They're just not getting coached up the way they should, man.
Yeah.
They're so, on both sides of the ball, if that offensive line is healthy and doing well, they were not good last week, but like they were productive. It just sucks that they have to be in shootouts to even pretend to be in these games.
Yeah, they can even, like, freaking McVay finds a running back off the street and puts up production, and they couldn't get a second running back there for 3 years now.
Well, it's funny you say that because Kelly actually was more productive than Eckler last game. He actually looked pretty good. So I said it to Alex. I said it to you while we were watching the game. I was like, Kelly is so much better when he's doing like the Pollard thing from last year. Like when he's spelling Eckler, he's so much more productive. When he's the main guy, when Eckler's gone down in the past few years, he has just disappointed over and over and over again. But when he's in there together, he's actually fine. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because Eckler was the Pollard for a long time when they had Melvin Gordon. And he's one of the few I can think of that's actually transitioned to that workhorse role and really run with it.
Hey, smell that coming.
Well, I've got one more real quick, and I got to go hop on a plane if you guys don't mind terribly. You're going to hate it, too. You're going to hate it. It's Derek Carr.
Yeah, I haven't written down. I just didn't want to say it out loud.
I didn't want to either, but I'm gonna fall on that sword for you guys, and I'll tell you why. First of all,
past 3 weeks,
it really makes me feel bad to say this. He's owned in 18.4% of leagues, but he's also had 15 or more points the last 3 games against a couple pretty good defenses, and they're playing Indianapolis this week.
Yeah,
a notedly not good defense. So if you're on the spot, you got to buy it. Well, there's no buys, but you know what I mean. He's worth a shot.
DFS lineup for sure.
Yeah, he'll throw 15 passes to Kamara, and Kamara will do all the work for him, but it still counts for passing yards.
We don't care about that.
Yeah, it still counts for passing yards.
Watch Olave's status. I don't know what they're gonna. They'll probably.
I don't think they'll do anything. There's they may fine him. There's no NFL precedent. Not that means anything.
Yeah, it's going to be a misdemeanor. It's fine.
But he only went like 75 and a 40. Who cares?
Yeah. Now if you assault 24 women, they'll still suspend you for 11 games.
That's how you get a guaranteed contract.
Yeah. And then they get pitched for an XFL player.
Yeah. All right, fellas, I'm going to drop. It's been real. Sorry for the background noise, but
hey, we would rather you be here with some background noise than not be here at all.
Wow, that is honestly the nicest thing anybody said to me in like 3 days. Thank you.
You're stupid and ugly. Go away.
Now we're back. All right.
Love you. F you, Davis.
F you, Davis.
God, I hate that guy.
I think so interesting stuff that do we think that there's any value in these guys in the trade block? I know we talked about TMJ a little bit. Cortland Sutton, Derrick Henry.
It would be ludicrous to trade Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, I don't think they will, but they are 1-6.
Won, so
they're two and
they just won last game. Yeah,
they're 2-5. Yeah,
2-5. Yeah,
and they're
Packers,
and they ain't going to the playoffs because the Chiefs own that division.
No, but I'm saying because they won that game, they may have thought about it if they'd lost, but he's been really productive this year. I don't see how you can get rid of your best wide receiver.
Yeah, it's just you got to look in the mirror and say, are we rebuilding or are we not rebuilding?
What my brain immediately goes to, and I don't know if this is fair or not, but it just makes me think that Sean Payton's ego is just going to win out and think that he can turn this shit around, which should be the mindset of a head coach, but also that's hard to do. It's hard to be that honest, especially when people's jobs and livelihoods are on the line.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like fantasy relevance that would help. Like, I think Terrace Marshall. I've stashed Terrace Marshall in a deeper league just because I think if he goes to the right situation, he could be a lot better.
He's talented. He's the third wide receiver in that incredible LSU offense. And he had the most touchdowns with them. The three of them. Between JJ and Chase, he was the touchdown leader when they all played at the same time.
If tomorrow you heard Terrace Marshall traded to the 49ers because Debo's out for the year, you'd be like, that's fantasy relevant. So it's like...
Yeah. He would have to acclimate to the system, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I don't see it. I could see him being productive in the future. Like another season. But like that's more of a
deeper dynasty
thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. I just didn't. We're in trade season, and I don't know if any trade candidates are worth rostering just in case. Leonard Fournette said he's going to announce which team he's going to be on. I don't care. He looked awful last year.
Well, the only thing that I will say that he looked awful, but who gives a shit? He was still a top 12 back. Yeah.
So if he goes to the right situation,
so many balls. He's got great hands, and I think he's a decent pass blocker. Am I wrong there? I can't. I could be totally off base there. What he's not,
if he's trying,
what he's not good at is running the football. But he's a great dump off catch or running back right now. So
there are. I mean, like, what's going on with Aaron Jones? Like, there's like guys that just like don't really look right. That I'm like,
Jones is still dealing with injury. I'm pretty sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just trying to think of situations where Leonard Fournette could go and be relevant, and that would be one for sure if he was in Green Bay in the Aaron Jones role, or if he went to Baltimore, or if he went to
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I mean, there's like situations that I could see him going to and being.
Is it worth throw to running backs though?
Well, Monken does like that. They just haven't. They're doing it more and more and more. Like Justice Hill is getting more.
Justice Hill has gotten more. You're not wrong.
Yeah,
that would be interesting. But I think they probably like the guys they have there. That backfield was productive. I mean, it was an insane blowout game, but they were productive last week.
Yeah, poor Keaton Mitchell.
Gus Edwards.
He got hurt.
Gus Edwards looked great. I don't know what his stat line is off the top of my head, but he looked at the eye test.
I think he had like 21 points. I think he was a top 5 back last week.
That's great. Right after I say don't fucking touch any of the Ravens. Yeah. Fuck me, dude. Oh, well.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's situations.
I wonder, we didn't talk about that. They probably are around that 50% mark or maybe under, so I don't know what their schedule looks like because I didn't think about it till just now. But you don't have that kind of production against the best run defense in the league, and not.
I told you before, and I think they were a little inflated by a bad team.
Sure, but they're still a top 5 run defense in the league. Obviously, they weren't home, and it was a blowout. They just got off to a hot start, but we're playing fantasy football here, and when someone has a game like that, you gotta at least raise an eyebrow at it.
Yeah. I think that they would. I'd probably rather have them than Henderson. I don't know.
I think I'm going to say this, and it might come back to bite me in the ass, but I don't know if I mentioned it in the thing, but Henderson got 12 rushing attempts.
He had 19 touches.
Yeah, and he had 16 and versus 12.
Yeah.
For I just blanked on his name. Royce Freeman. Yeah. So they both had 60. I did 61 and like 63 yards. So.
I don't think Henderson was really in and Sean Payton kind of said it. He was like, he's still getting back into football shape. Henderson was like, you can't get into shape unless you're playing football. So I think that he's just kind of a little bit rusty. I think this is his backfield next week. I'd be shocked if it's split like this again.
Maybe.
Yeah, he's just better. I mean, He's just better. I think
Yeah, and he knows the system, and he's been productive in this system before.
And Sean Payton trusts him for sure.
And he's much better pass catcher. So yeah, I would probably take Henderson.
Yeah, if it would be like I would be a big rope-a-dope if Royce Freeman's the lead back in the in that backfield.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's it. Any droppables that you can think of right now?
Oh, I didn't prepare for this, but
it's like guys that I guess you can pick back up Najee Harris.
Begrudgingly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jalen Warren still got that 10.6. I think I mentioned that. He's still on the radar.
If Madison was not hurt at the end of the game last game, do they just trust Akers more now? Like,
they had him in. I mean, I think he got a little banged up, but he came back in, so I don't even think that it really was. Akers is one to keep an eye on. He's definitely worth thinking about rostering, or if you have Madison, maybe think.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have Madison,
I did that, but now I'm like, oh god, do I need to pick him up?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I hate running back. That's why I don't draft him. I'll just wait till week 8 and pick up Henderson and DeMarcado.
Yeah, dude, it's so crazy. It's like,
I'm just over it. It's over running backs. Ugh. Think about people that wasted a 3rd round pick on Najee Harris. Yikes. Yikes. Whoa. All right. Anyways, I think that's enough. I think that's. We're not giving anybody actual advice. But they were fun though, right?
Yeah.
All right, Mason. You just lead us out, please.
Well, we say this at the end of every single episode, just like we start this episode with Alex drinking whiskey.
You Fantasy Football Podcast
fucking A.
Yeah,
Bye now.